certainly be tackling that, I'm sure. So
something else is online sales. I hope that might be removed because that's very difficult to enforce, especially with underage kids getting online.
Online sales are hard to enforce. We've got a bill coming up later in our committee that does talk about that too. So thank you for those comments. Appreciate it. I think we'll move on. We've short on time this morning. Would you
was
like
that
to make one short
11:27?
comment?
This
Absolutely,
is
yes, sir. Thank you for the
494.
opportunity, Mr. Chairman. Taylor Hawkins with Frontline Policy Council. We don't usually get involved in
Oh,
stuff
you know
like
what? It's
this,
right,
but
Tommy.
we
You're right.
admire
I
the
didn't
work
hear
of
them because they were hearing
Whip
both of them,
Robertson
and
in the
that's
Senate.
great.
We think that this is a very necessary step in the right direction. We do have the pledge of support from the legislature that we will continue working on this
Yeah,
issue, but we also have
they read both
Yeah.
the knowledge that this is a very necessary step in the right direction, and
couldn't get back.
appreciate the work of the Department of
It makes you
Agriculture
wonder.
and his folks to take action to protect
He needs
consumers
to
in
be
this way. So,
educated.
we will be back on some other pieces of legislation for sure, but we want to thank this committee for considering and would ask them to vote do pass on this bill. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Talker. Appreciate those comments. All right. I think we're in the posture now. See no more questions. I'd entertain a motion.
It's like they already have their mind made up what they want to do.
Got a motion, do pass. Got a second. Any other questions of the author or department? So hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you, committee, very much. Thank you, Senator, for being here. Very good bill on the House rules.
Oh my God. It stayed in rules a long time though.
You might have conflicts, but we've got this room for another 30 minutes or so. If I'd love to, Senator Hatchett is here and has a bill for us to consider this morning, SB479. Thank you for your patience.
No.
And welcome to House Ag and Consumer Affairs Committee.
At 494. So if you go back to the live and rewind back to
the other two
on the bill and check the floor, has it run through yet?
They'll say loopholes, but it does have to.
Oh, not this one. Not this one, the other one.
I think
Like on the floor vote.
To make sure that we stay in compliance with federal regulations. And when you get over into
Randy changed his haircut.
let's see, there's THC.
I think they were talking this morning.
Label providing the
of some of our speakers today, moving forward. And just there again, currently right now, we're not regulating anything. And
I just hate we couldn't have been there that day.
Senator Watson, you got any other comments about this bill? You were Catherine there.
Just not much, Mr. Chairman. I'll just say that I know there's several hemp bills that are going to be presented today and coming up that I think will address a lot of the concerns of some of our speakers today. Moving forward.
Oh, so this is
just there again currently.
He speaks again here.
And that would do a great deal to help prevent.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they keep showing favor to the opposers
Also,
of this.
There's no buffer zones.
I'm just like,
retail
wow.
Establishments could sell these products within a certain distance from schools. So we would love to see you include the buffer zones as well.
Of some of our speakers today, moving forward. And just there again, currently right now, we're not regulating anything and we're not doing anything.
A committee to look at studying that if all of our bonding requirements were to have flexibility in there, like the Senate added to this, that we wouldn't have as much trouble with some of the bonding that we have out there. That this does provide flexibility, allows the department to increase the bonding requirement as needed. And so it doesn't put it at one level that one size fits all. It allows flexibility. And for my Senate friends, thank you for that.
Okay, that's all the questions I see from the committee right this minute. We do have a couple people in the audience that wanted to speak to the bill. Greg Rizaka, is he here? Would you want to come to the podium mic and inform the committee a little bit of any concerns you might have? And I also want to recognize Commissioner Harper here this morning. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your work on these bills in the efforts to tackle these problems we have in our state with these bills. So thank you for wanting to do that. Gentlemen, tell us who you are and what organization.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Dr. Greg Raduca.
Okay, Aviva, you
I'm
know
a
I
board
can't
member
take
with
this one.
Georgians for
So we've got one other speaker.
Oh my God. It's just like
Is he
we
here? Would
need
you like
like
to come
some
to
poster boards
there as well?
or something.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, committee members.
I don't know.
We're also with Georgians for Responsible Marijuana
Yeah,
Policy. I'm the
yes.
Director. I'll just quickly add 2 points. One is that Dr. Gaylord Lopez, who's the executive director of the
Who is
Georgia
giving them their information?
where all poison calls in Georgia flow through, has shared testimony with us that over 250 toddlers have had poison calls related to Delta 8 and other synthetic cannabinoids. So yes, we could put this off for another year, but let's keep in mind that there are children getting poisoned by Delta 8 products.
But they're giving out peanuts at the Capitol.
That 17
What about the ones with
already
peanut allergies?
banned Delta 8 and synthetic cannabinoids. And I won't read the whole list, but it does
Where
include
do the babies
nearby
go?
states like Mississippi,
The parents need to be responsible.
other
You know, you buy it, you need to be responsible with your stuff.
Virginia, North Dakota, and so on. So I want to urge
I
the
want
committee
to
to consider
know
those.
in comparison
Thank you.
how many kids got into aspirin.
Thank you. Thank you for those comments.
Yeah,
Thank
too
you
much
for your
sugar, or even the
organization, watching these
even
things and, your testimony.
even peanuts. I mean, this is crazy.
See, what I want to
Senator
find out is
Watson, you got any other comment?
where did they do an amendment to raise it to 10,000? I never saw that. Maybe it's
I
after
know it was in between the hearing. It was in between the hearing. When it left the when it got passed out of the House
the Senate.
in the Senate, when it came to the Senate, that's when it had the new language in it. Because like I said, I actually have the first, I guess the updated one from yeah,
And I believe
because it was like $500 to $2,000. I remember reading that.
going out on a small,
Let me see if I can find it.
and the amount of products that they have purchased here and around Atlanta and the way they were packaged and the THC content would be shocking to anyone, because basically these stores were selling marijuana in their stores, bottled and packaged, looking for these young kids to come in there and purchase this product, thinking it's one thing.
Okay, here's Doreen.
but,
What's she saying?
Shall.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and so
All right.
If you don't,
it has the department may submit an amended plan, and I think you kind of touched on that. If as regulations change, we may need to adapt here in Georgia. And then in 201, you struck out consultation with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and it had shall, but you changed the may. So I guess my concern is more of the may versus the shall.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and so
I'll, if you don't mind, I'll
Okay,
answer
so that's
your
good. They
second question
still have
first, and
this
I'll
Okay.
work the
crossed
HCA.
out.
On
Oh,
the
wait, that's
on the
another
first one, when we give the Department of Ag the ability to enforce this particular portion under Title 16, then they do not need to bring the GBI in. It should not be a requirement. It would be one law enforcement agency inviting another law enforcement agency to do
Man.
something that the first law enforcement agency already has the ability to do. But to leave the may there, a couple of weeks ago, and you may be familiar with it, in Pierce County, there were some extremely large marijuana grows down there. It was around $21 million worth of marijuana seized that were being run under the guise of a food producing thing, business license, if you will. It was operation. It was very public, run by a group of Chinese nationals. And so the Pierce County Sheriff's Office could have handled the case, but because of the resources and manpower involved, they invited the Department of Agriculture in, and they invited the GBI and others in. So this right here still allows the Ag Commissioner the opportunity to invite those others in should he need that help. But if not, it is not a requirement that he do that. And
No, I don't like that. I don't like that. Because you creating the law.
when
and getting them to enforce the law. That's crazy.
Included saying that the department could submit a plan to the U.S.
I don't see the misdemeanor
Secretary,
thing in the current
and
version.
we've done that. But if we need to amend it in the future, we would like to have permission in code to do so. So it actually allows us to
Like you
stay,
said,
in step. with
it'll be, oh my God, they can create the law to
And
enforce
that's
the
what I was
laws.
thinking you were doing. And
That's
I guess
crazy.
my thought pattern was if some regulations change, I wanted to make sure that we were in fact going to update versus putting the may, you kind of get flexibility in there. So that's why I was trying to make sure. Thank you.
All right, Representative Carter.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. Thank you for bringing this forward. I just want to make a distinction. This is regarding consumable hemp only. Therefore, the bioremediative nature of the plant, as you mentioned prior, and I spent a lot of time in the space, so I'm pretty familiar with it. That, to my colleague Chairman Perkle's point, it sounds bizarre, but this plant has a multitude of uses. This bill is specific around consumable hemp, which is the largest differentiator between cannabis and hemp, is that one is primarily just human consumption and the other has other uses, rope, textiles, things of that nature, like hemp. Most of the hemp producers, legitimate hemp farmers, hemp producers that I know are seeking greater regulation, are seeking greater guardrails so that they can not only crop shift to a sustainable business in a time of blight for many of them, but that the competition can be regulated, that our consumers can actually be protected.
Oh God. Oh, I'm so frustrated right now
I
because
know.
the thing is, they don't even have the industrial hemp in the bill. They're not even making it possible for them to do that. It's so twisted. It's just this whole twisted knot. Like all they care about is regulating the CBD, but what they're doing is they're neglecting the industrial hemp industry and they're making it impossible. They're squeezing it out and they don't even realize that. And they're denying that.
They are. They are. Because if you think about this right here, like in one of the bills where they destroy your entire lot if something tests positive or hot. I know that Mr. Nathan, you know Mr. Nathan Johnson right now, that's
Yeah.
that has his case going now, is basically he made the suggestions like instead of destroying the whole crop or whatever, why not, whatever he said, de-shuck it or something and just use the stalk, you know. I can't remember exactly what it is, and plus it's late. So yeah, 10 minutes. Oh God.
Well, now that we know 494 is on the floor, and
Oh yeah. Okay, gotcha.
and they keep on debating, they're still in the election.
But can you rewind it back to see whether or not if it came out earlier? But they probably would still be debating it now. I don't even know if they even would debate it. You know, how impactful was the message being put out to the state reps on the floor? You know, about that. You know, because I know the ones who I sent the emails and stuff to, and whether or not they read it or not. Because I learned too, you got to give them line by line for them to read, because they have to read so much legislation. And they want to hurry up and get to the point. So it's just like, look, please vote no. Vote no to SB 494. It ain't ready. 494 is not ready. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm looking back. SR 82. Yeah, I don't think it's been read yet. It's probably gonna do it at midnight.
I told you, it's just like a suspense movie. I mean, it's like it's like climatic. It seems like every year it's a major cannabis bill that they put forth to keep you in tune. It's like, are they going for ratings? What are they going for? Because if you think about, if they haven't done 437, that's another one, 437 and 494. So those are the two booger bears, the 494 and 437.
So I'm back here in the house. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think so. Unless, yeah, because it wouldn't have been during at ease, because the rules committee was during the at ease, and that's when it came out. So
come on midnight, you know, you think about just like
Come on, it's like a slumber party.